Welcome, it's a little Lizardcat here. Sorry I'm late, I kind of fell asleep. I was like, I gotta stream at 12 p.m. I gotta be awake. I'm just gonna lay down for a bit because my back is hurting. It will be alright, and next thing I know, it's almost 30. Oh, I fell asleep. Anyways, I hope you're being well, I hope you're having a great weekend, and I hope you're ready because today we are having the reading stream. We are gonna be reading Bram Stoker's Dracula. Bram Stoker. And we are reading Project X Gutenberg ebook version of Bram Stoker's Dracula. It is free online. I'll put the link in chat so you can see it. Where is it? This is the version we are reading. Yeah, we're gonna do a reading stream of Bram Dracula. So I hope you're ready. I think I have everything ready. Okay, everything seems ready. I will try to keep an eye out for the ads, so we can take breaks during the ads, and you don't and people who are caught in the ads don't miss the reading. Yeah, it should be fine. I should actually put some rules on. I'll put it in the chat, and I'll just pin. Reading stream. Here. Huh? Put it like that. Boom. And I'm gonna pin that to the top of the chat. Are you sure? Yeah. There we go. Let me take off my jacket because it's getting kind of hot in here. We can start in 1 second. But yeah, so still dealing with Fly Our Life Smack one and flush it. Still got a small one to deal with, and it's not landing on any of the stick pad traps I've set up. Ooh, that's terrible. I have one of those electric choppers. Like I just fling it at the fly, and you hear that peck, and they die. They are pretty fun. Just don't touch the electric part. It's kind of painful. I promise I'm not dumb. I was just curious. It's actually not that bad. But still don't touch it. I think I got a bigger shot from the electric fence. Also, don't touch the electric fence. It's not a good idea. It's never a good idea. I'm dumb, so I'm sorry. It's a lot safer than what my grandpa did with my brother. To my brother was, oh god, no. It happens. It happens. But yeah. I guess we'll start in 1 sec. I think I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? I think I'm forgetting something, but I don't remember what. I needed to say to talk about something. I have no idea what I'm forgetting. I guess it wasn't important if I forgot it. Anyways, guess we'll just jump into it. I'm gonna where is it? Okay, here's the book. It was an electric fence around his garden. He said it's safe. In fact, you can speed on it really close and it won't choke you. And when he just that, then back to the house and waited for my older brother and sister. When they finished, didn't exist, and right before my button, he turned the power. And we're back on. Oh no! It happens. Those electric fences can be really painful. We have one on our fence because it's part of the security here, and I had the brilliant idea of touching it one day. It's kind of. It is not a good idea. I don't recommend it. Anyways, I'm gonna pause my background music. And I'm gonna put some ambient music for this. I made a playlist for this. I swear I'm ready. It was a repellent friends enough to cause gophers and rabbits to go nope, bad idea, and run away. I guess that could work. My fence is to repel thieves. So I guess mine probably is gonna be a little cool. Because you wanna stop the thief. It happened. You know, they installed the fence and they were like, oh yeah, electric fence. It's gonna keep the thieves away, and it has been effective. But also, I'm dumb and I cannot be trusted to be near something like that. So I was like, well, how painful can it be? And I touched it and it was pretty painful. I totally, if I was a thief, I totally would not dare go near that electric fence. I can see why it is effective. Like, yeah, you shouldn't touch that. It's painful. Also, the guards were mad because apparently when somebody touches the fence, it sends an alert telling them in which part of the fence was activated, like where somebody touched. But they came to investigate, and it was just, oh yeah, no, I was curious what the how it felt, so I touched. I touched the fence. And they were like, why would you do that? It's not safe. It's supposed to keep people away. You're not supposed to touch. You're just making us work more. Good times. You know, it's just that if you give me something like that, I'm gonna want to touch that. I'm gonna want to know what it is like. I did the same thing at the horse place. The horses touch it with their hooves, and I was like, I can do that too. The thing is, how the fence is set up, you have to touch like 2 of the cables for it to activate. So I actually got a ladder and got up to it, and I just touched 2 of them, and I was like, ah! It isn't a good idea. Hey, I'm just dumb. I just needed to know, you know. Like, well, like my brain was like, yeah. I mean, if it's meant for people to touch it, it cannot be that bad, right? Because you don't actually want to hurt people, right? Even if they are thieves trying to get into your house. Like, all you want to do is give them a small chunk, so they are like, yep, nope, bad idea. But no, it's actually quite painful. It's actually quite painful. It's a terrible idea. Like, I don't know why I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. If it wasn't a big deal, I guess it wouldn't stop the thieves. I don't know, my brain is dumb. Yeah, make them regret touching it. Yeah, I totally regret touching it. I totally will not do it again. But I gotta say, it has been effective. Like, before the fence was there. Oh no, the Titanic flute. But yeah, before the fence was there, I had my bike stolen like 4 times. Like, I had lost like 4 bikes, a car battery, and the dirty laundry thingy. You know, the thing where you put your dirty laundry. They came into my backyard. They threw all the clothes in the ground and they stole it. Rest in chicken nuggets. Yeah. No, that's the thing. You know, a smart person will have been like just 2 fingers. No, I went and grabbed it with the palm of my hands. Like, a smart person would have been like, yeah, just 2 fingers. It shouldn't be a big deal. No, I was like, I want to know what it feels like, and I just grabbed it. Like, I'm not smart. I don't know. Like, I was just like, it's not a big deal. Yippee! But yeah, it has been. It was like mostly that. I'm dumb. But it has been effective. I have not had anything stolen from my backyard years since the electric fence was installed. Exactly before touching the fence. Yeah, that was me before touching the fence. Like, yippee! It's not a big deal. Yippee! Ah! It is not one of my brightest moments. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, I guess I'll jump into the reading. Now we'll start the reading soon. Let me just pause the music. Where is it? Then we'll go to my YouTube playlist. Where did I put it? Here. And hopefully the volume is fine. That is too high. Okay, that should be fine. I think it should be fine. Is it fine? Is it too loud? I'll be trying to make obsidian automation in Minecraft and not cobble. That sounds cool. I have never tried actually made any automation in Minecraft. I'm dumb. You're a bit quiet under the music, but it's good. Okay, let me lower the music a bit. It should be fine, I guess, like that. No, wait, a little bit there. There, that should be fine, I think. Anyways. Okay. Where did I put the book now? I'm a mess. I have everything all over the place. Okay, we're ready to start with this. Let me. I wish I could put like the. Actually, can I put the ads manager in this monitor? Like let's do this. Then go to stream. Be here. This and that. Actually, I just want this one. Pop out. Okay. News. Okay. Here we go. We are gonna start now. Oh. Give me a second. I haven't done a reading like this in a while, so give me a second. I need to get it. Okay. This is a reading of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Though these papers have been placed in sequence, will be made manifest. Sorry. Man, what is wrong with my throat? Okay. Okay, let's start that over again. So these papers have been in place in sequence will be made manifest in the reading of them. All needless matters have been eliminated so that history is almost at variance with the possibilities of later day belief may stand for the simple facts there is true no statement of past things wherein memory may err. For all the records chosen are exactly contemporary, given from the standpoints and within the range of knowledge of those who made them. Dracula, Chapter 1, Jonathan Harker's journal, kept in shorthand. May Beatrice left Munich at 8:35 p.m. on the 1st May, arriving at Vienna early next morning. Should have arrived at 6:46, but train was an hour late. Budapest seems a wonderful place, from the glimpses which I got out of it from the train and the little I could walk through the streets. I fear here to go very far from the station, as we had arrived late and would start as near the correct time as possible. The impression I had was that we were leaving the west and entering the east, the most western of splendid bridges over the Danube, which is here of noble width and depth, took us amongst traditions of Turkish rule. We were left in pretty good time, and we came after nightfall of Klausenberg. Here I stopped for the night at the Hotel Royale. I had for dinner, or rather support chicken done up some wait super. It was super, not support. Or rather super. A chicken done up some way with red pepper, which was very good but thirsty. Ma'am, get the recipe for Ormina. I asked the waiter, and he said it was called paprika hendel, and that it was a national dish. I should be able to get it anywhere along Carpathians. I found my smattering of German very useful here, indeed. I don't know how I should be able to get on with it. Having had some time at my disposal when in London, I had visited the British Museum and made search among the books and maps in the library regarding Transylvania. It has taught me that some knowledge of the country could hardly fail to have some importance in dealing with noblemen of the country. I find that the district the key name is in the extreme east of the country, just on the borders of 3 states: Transylvania, Moldavia, and Bukovina, in the midst of the Carpathian Mountains, one of the wildest and least known portions of Europe. I was not able to light on any map or word giving the exact locality of the Castle Dracula, as there are no maps of this country as yet to compare with our own Ordnance Survey maps. But I found that Greece, it's the post town named by Count Dracula, is a fairly well-known place. I shall enter here some of my notes, as they may refresh my memory when I walk over my travels with Mina. Sorry, I need to clean my glasses. Give me a sec. There's a stain here that's kind of messing with me. Pam. In the population of Transylvania, there are 4 distinct nationalities: Saxons in the south, and mixed with Wallachs, who are the descendants of the Dacians, Magyars in the west, and Sekelis in the east and north. I'm going amongst the latter, who claim to be descendants from Attila and the Huns. This may be so, for when the Magyans conquered the country in the 11th century, they found a Hun settled in it. I read that every known superstition in the world is gathered into the horseshoe of the Carpathians, as if it were the center of some sort of imaginative whirlpool. If so, my stay may be very interesting. Memorandum, I guess. I don't know what mem means. I must ask the Count all about them. I did not sleep well through, so my bed was comfortable enough, but I had all sorts of weird dreams. There was a dog howling all night under my window, which may have had something to do with it. Or it may have been the paprika, for I had to drink up all the water in my carefree and was still thirsty towards the morning. I slept and was wakened by the continuous knocking at my door, so I guess I must have been sleeping soundly then. I had for breakfast more paprika and a sort of porridge of maize flour, which they said was mamaliga, an eggplant stuffed with horse meat. A very excellent dish, which they call impletata. And get a recipe for this also. I had to hurry breakfast, for the train started little before or 8, or rather it ought to have done so. For after rushing to the station at 7:30, I had to sit in the carriage for more than an hour before we began to move. It seems to me that the further east we go, the more unpunctual are the trains. What ought they be in China? All day long we seem to dawdle through a country which was full of beauty of every kind. Sometimes we saw little towns or castles on top of the steep hills, such as we see in old missals. Sometimes we ran the rivers and streams which seem from the white sunny margin on each side of them to be subject to great floods. It takes a lot of water and running strong to sweep the outside edge of the river clear. At every station there were groups of people, sometimes crowds, and in all sorts of attires. Some of them were just like the peasants at home, or those I saw coming through France and Germany, with short jackets and round hats and homemade trousers. But others were very picturesque. The women looked pretty, except when you got near them, but they were very clumsy about the waist. They had all full white sleeves of some kind of or other, and most of them had big belts with a lot of stripes of something fluttering from them, like the dresses in ballet. But of course there were petticoats under them. The strangest figures we saw were the Slovaks, who were more barbarian than the rest, with the big cowboy hats, great big baggy dirt white trousers, with white linen shirts, and enormous heavy leather belts, nearly a foot wide, all studded over the brass nails. They wore high boots with their trousers tucked into them, and had long black hair and heavy black mustaches. They are very picturesque, but not look prepossessing. On the stage, they will be set down at once as some old Oriental band brigands. They are, however, I'm told, very harmless and rather wanting in natural self-assertion. And we are about to get an ad break, so I'm gonna take a little rest, and we can talk about what we have read. I do love the way Bram Stoker describes the syrup. It allows you like to imagine everything. Like I can actually picture everything he's describing in the story, and I love the way he writes about Europe. It's like very particular. I don't know. But yeah, it's the kind of story I like, you know. I remember when I first read Bram Stoker's Dracula, I must have been like 13 years old. I don't remember the exact age. I just remember that my school had told me that I couldn't read that book. So of course I went and read it. Okay, the ads is starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, we're now in an ad break. We'll return to the reading as soon as the ads ends, I think. Wait, I am confused. It says in one of my screen it says ad starting soon, and the other it says it started. Is it running 1 minute? Manually may remove upcoming auto. Ah, I see. Wait, am I running an ad right now, or am I not running an ad right now? It should be running. I am so confused how the ads work. Like, it should be running an ad, right? It had the content saying it's starting soon, but it says ad starting soon. I don't know if it's actually running the ad. Why is it like this? Why is it like? Pre-roll ads are disabled. Oh, okay, I get. Ad in progress. Oh, there we go. I guess it needed loading or something. I still don't get how the ads work. Like, it does give me alerts for when the ads are starting, but I find that they are not precise at all. Like, it gives me like a timer, and then I wait for the timer, and then it takes a long time for the ads to start. Right now it says we are in ad break, and there's a countdown to where the ad break ends. So I guess I'll just wait for the ad to end, and then we can continue the reading. But yeah, in the meantime, if you don't have an ad right now, you can just ask any questions about the book or anything, and we'll answer them. And okay, one of my monitors says that the ad break is over. The other one it's still counting down. I'm not sure. Okay, it should have ended now. Okay, let's just continue. It was on the dark side of Twilight when we got to Streets, which is a very interesting old place. Being practically on the frontier for the Bongo Pass leads from it into Bukovina? I don't know how to pronounce it. Give me a sec, my mic is kind of off there. It should be around here. Okay. It was on the dark side of Twilight when we got to Streets, which is very interesting old place. Being practically on the sorry. I need water. There we go. Being practically on the frontier for the Borgo Pass leads from it into Bukovina. It has a very stormy existence, and it certainly shows the marks of it. 50 years ago, a series of great fires took place, which made terrible havoc on 5 separate occasions. At the very beginning of the 17th century, it underwent a siege of 3 weeks and lost 30,000 people. The casualties of war proper being assisted by famine and disease. When Dracula had directed me to go to the Golden Crown Hotel, which I found to be which I found to my great delight to be truly old-fashioned. For of course I wanted to see all I could of the ways of the country. I was evidently expected, for when I got near the door, I faced a cheery-looking elderly woman in the usual peasant dress, white undergarment with long double apron front and back, and colored stuff fitting almost too tight for modesty. When I came close, she bowed and said, "The Herr Englishman, yes?" Yes, I said. "Jonathan Harker." She smiled and gave some message to an elderly man in white shirt sleeves who had followed her to the door. He went, but immediately returned with a letter. With a letter, not a letter. Yeah. "My friend, welcome to the Carpathians. I'm anxiously expecting you. Sleep well tonight. At 3 tomorrow, the diligence will start for Bokovia. A place on it is kept for you. At the Borgo Pass, my carriage will await you and will bring you to me. I trust that your journey from London has been a happy one, and that you will enjoy your stay in my beautiful land. Your friend Dracula." Let me get some water before we continue. For May. I found that my landlord had got a letter on the count directing him to secure the best place on the coach for me. But on making inquiries as to the details, he seemed somewhat reticent. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. Reticent. Should be like that, right? Okay. Somewhat reticent. And pretended that he could not understand my German. This could not be true because up to then he had understood it perfectly. At least he answered my questions exactly as if he did. He and his wife, the old lady who had received me, looked at each other in frightened sort of way. He mumbled out that the money had been sent in a letter and that was all he knew. When I asked him if he knew Count Dracula and could tell me anything of his castle, both he and his wife crossed themselves and saying that they knew nothing at all, simply refused to speak further. It was so near the time of starting that I had no time to ask anyone else, but it was all very mysterious and not by any means comforting. Sorry. Here we go. Okay. Where was it? Not by any means comforting. Just before I was leaving, the old lady came up to my room and said, I'm in a very hysterical way. Must you go, young hair? Must you go? She was in such excited state that she seemed to have lost her grip of what German she knew, and mix it all up with some other language, which I did not know at all. I was just able to follow her by asking many questions. When I told her that I must go at once and that I was engaged on important business, she asked again, "Do you know what day it is?" I answered that it was the 4th of May. She shook her head and she said again, "Oh yes, I know that, but do you know what day it is?" On my saying that I did not understand, she went on, "It is the eve of St. George's Day. Do you not know that tonight, when the clock strikes midnight, all the evil things in the world will have full sway? Do you know where you are going and what you are going to do?" She was in such evident distress that I tried to comfort her, but without effect. Finally, she went down on her knees and implored me not to go, at least to wait a day or two before starting. It was all very ridiculous, but I did not feel comfortable. However, there was business to be done, and I could allow nothing to interfere with it. I therefore tried to raise her up and said, as gravely as I could, that I thanked her, but my duty was imperative, and that I must go. She then rose and dried her eyes, and taking a crucifix from her neck, offered it to me. I did not know what to do for. As an English churchman, I have been taught to regard such things as in some measure of idolatrous, and yet it seemed so ungracious to refuse an old lady meaning so well and in such a state of mind. She saw, I suppose, the doubt in my face, where she put the rosary around my neck and said, "For your mother's sake," and went out of the room. I'm writing in this part of the diary whilst I'm waiting for the coach, which is of course late, and the crucifix is still on my neck. Whether it is the old lady's fear or many ghostly traditions of this place, or the crucifix itself, I do not know, but I'm not feeling nearly as easy in mind as usual. If this book should ever reach Mina before I do, let it bring my goodbye. Let it bring my goodbye. Here comes the coach. 5th May, the castle. The gray of the morning had passed, and the sun is high over the distant horizon, which seems whether with trees or hills, I know not, for it is so far off of the big things, and little are mixed. I'm not sleepy, and as I am not to be called till I awake, naturally, I write I ride till sleep comes. There are many odd things to put down, and lest who reads them may fancy that I dined too well before I left these streets. Let me put down my dinner exactly. I dine on what they call rubber steak. Bits of bacon, onion and beef, seasoned with red pepper, and strong on stick roasted over the fire, in the simple style of the London cat's meat. The wine was golden mediash, which produced a queer sting on the tongue, which is, however, not disagreeable. I had only a couple of glasses of this and nothing else. Give me 1 sec, I need one. Ow. When I got to the coach, the driver had not taken his seat, and I saw him talking with the landlady. They were evidently talking for me, for every now and then they look at me. And some of the people who were sitting on the coach, on the bench outside the door, which they call by name meaning word better, came and listened and then looked at me. Most of them pityingly. I could hear a lot of words often repeated, weird words, for there were many nationalities in the crowd. So I quietly got out my polyglot dictionary from my bag and looked them out. I must say they were not cheering to me. For amongst them were Ordog, Satan, Pokol, Hell, Tregoika, Witch, Brolock, and Vlkoslak, both of which mean the same thing, one being Slovak and the other Serbian for something that is either werewolf or vampire. Ma'am, I must ask the Count about these superstitions. When we started, the crowd around the indoor, which it had by this time swelled to a considerable size, I made the sign of those of the cross and pointed 2 fingers towards me, with some difficulty. I got a fellow passenger to tell me what they meant, and he will not answer at first, but on learning that I was English, he explained that it was a charm or guard against the evil eye. This was not very pleasant for me, just stating for starting for an unknown place to meet an unknown man, but everyone seemed so kind-hearted and so sorrowful and so sympathetic that I could not but be touched. I shall never forget the last glimpse which I had of the inn yard and its crowd of picturesque figures, all crossing themselves as they stood around the white archway, with its background of rich foliage of oleander and orange trees on green tops clustered in the center of the yard. Then our driver, whose white linen drawers over the whole front of the box seat. What's they call them? Cracked his big whip over his four small horses, which ran abreast, and we set off on our journey. I soon lost sight and recollection of ghostly figures in the beauty of the scene as we drove along. Although I had known the language, or rather languages which my fellow passengers were speaking, I might not have been able to throw them off so easily. Before us lay a green sloping land full of forests and woods, which each give me a sec. Where were we? Back here. With here and there steep hills crowned with clumps of trees or with farmhouses. The blank gable and the gable at the end to the road. There was everything. There was everywhere a bewildering mass of fruit blossom, apple, plum, pear, cherry. And as we drove by, I could see the green grass under the trees, planted with fallen petals. In and amongst these green hills of what they call the Mittelland, ran the road, losing itself as it swept round the grassy curve, or was shut out by the straggling ends of pine woods, which here and there are run down hillsides like tongues of flame. The road was rugged. I couldn't pronounce that. The road was rugged, but still we seem to fly over. Okay. Sorry about that. Cherry. Where was I? Mittelland. Oh, I think it was around here. Road losing itself in the grassy curve. Tongues of flame. The road was rugged, but still seemed to fly over with a feverish haste. I could not understand then what the haste meant, but the driver was evidently bent on losing no time in reaching Bram. I was told that this road is in summertime excellent, but that it had not yet been put in under after the winter snow. In this respect, it is different from the general run of roads in the Carpathians, where it is an old tradition that they are not to be kept too good or to be kept in too good order. Of the old hostfathers will not repair them, lest the Turk should think that they were preparing to bring foreign troops and so hasten the war, which was always really a loading point. Beyond the green swelling hills of the Mittelland rose mighty slopes of forests up to the lofty steeps of the Carpathians themselves. Right and left of us, they towered with the afternoon sun falling full upon them and bringing out the glorious colors of this beautiful range. Deep blue and purple in the shadows of the peaks, green and brown where grass and rocks mingle, and endless perspective of jagged rock and pointed cracks, until these were themselves lost in the distance, where the snowy peaks rose grandly. Here and there seem mighty rifts in the mountains, through which, as the sun began to sink, we saw now and began the white gleam of falling water. One of my companions touched my arm as we swept around the base of the hill and opened up the lofty snow-covered peak of the mountain, which seemed as we went on serpentine way to be right before us. Look, it's Eastern Sec. God said. Oh, okay. And he crossed himself reverently. As we went on our endless way, and the sun sank lower and lower behind us, the shadow of the evening began to creep round us. This was emphasized by the fact that the snowy mountain top still held the sunset and seemed to glow out with delicate, cool pink. Here and there we passed Czechs and Slovaks, all in picturesque attires, but I noticed that goitre was painfully prevalent by the roadsides. By the roadside were many crosses, and as we swept by, my companions all crossed themselves. Here and there a peasant man or woman kneeling before the shrine, who did not even turn round as we approached, but seemed in the self-surrender of devotion to have neither eye nor ears for the outer world. There were many things new to me. For instance, hay ricks in the trees, and here and there very beautiful masses of weeping birch, their white stems shining like the silver through the delicate green of the leaves. Now and again we pass later wagon, the ordinary peasant cart with its long snake-like vertebra calculating to the suit of the inequalities of the road. And these were sure to be seated quite a group of homecoming peasants. Let's see. The Czechs with their white and Slovaks with their colored sheepskins, the latter carrying a lance fashioned their long staves, with tacks at the end. As the evening fell, it began to get very cold, and the growing twilight seemed to merge into the dark mistiness of the gloom of the trees. Oak, beech, I don't know how to pronounce that. Beech, pine. Though in the valleys which ran deep between the spurs of the hill, as we ascended through the pass, The dark fire stood out here and there against the background of the late laying snow. Oh wait, the ads are starting. The ads are starting in just about a minute. So I guess I'll pause for now, and I'm gonna go get more water because I ran out of water and my throat is really dry. So I'm gonna put you in the BRB screen. No, actually I'm gonna put like a BRB sign on the screen, just because if I change to the BRB screen, my background sound is gonna sound. Let me just add some text. BRB at break. I am dumb. BRB break. There we go. I'll be right back. Let me mute for. I have returned. Okay. Give me 1 sec. We'll be back into the reading. Give me 1 sec. Where's the book? Okay, here we go. Now, where were we? This will be. Okay, where were we? This is okay. Sometimes as the road was cut through the pine woods that seemed in darkness to be closed down upon us, great masses of greyness, which here and there bestrayed. How do I pronounce that? I may need to wait. Can I copy that word? I'm sorry, give me a sec. I don't know how to pronounce this word. This word is confusing me. I've never seen it before. How do I pronounce this?
Bestrewed.
Bestrewed. Ah, that makes sense. Okay. Which here and there bestrewed with the trees produced a peculiar, weird and solemn effect, which carried on the thought of green fancies engraved earlier in the evening. When the falling sunset threw into strange relief the ghost-like clouds which amongst the Carpathians seemed to be ceaselessly through the valley, something in the hills where the step that despite the either driver's haste, the horses could only go slowly. I wished to get down to the well upon them as we do at home, but the driver could not hear of it. No, he said, you must not walk here, the dogs are too fierce. And then he added, with what he evidently meant for a grim pleasantry, for he looked around to catch the approval smile of the rest. And you may have enough of such matters before you go to sleep. The only stop he would make was a moment pause to light his lamp. Actually, let me just. I'm gonna. I think I can do this from here. I might wait there, and we might need to. Why is my mouth open? Okay. It's not what I want. Where is it? Here. Ah. Hello? Ah, I think I broke it. What did I do? That is not what I wanted. There we go. That is good. Hello? Am I back? What happened? I don't know what happened here. Why is it capturing like that? It's supposed to show the text. Well, I'll make a new one. I don't know why it's broken. It's this one. This one. There we go. And I need to put this behind the mic. There. Okay. I think we're back, right? Is the stream fine? My laptop says it's offline. Am I back online? I just wanted to add some visuals. Why is it being like this? Okay, I am back. Okay. I'm sorry about that. My OBS just kind of went. I don't know why it's like that. Okay. Everything seems fine now. I'm gonna have to do some editing after the stream for the bot, but that is fine. I guess we'll go back to the story. Let me just now where is So I was about here. To the lamps. Okay. When it grew dark, there seemed to be some excitement amongst the passengers, and they kept speaking to him, one after the other, urging him to further speed. He lashed the horses unmercifully with his long whip, and with wild cries of encouragement urged them on to further excursion. Then through the darkness I could see a sort of patch of grey light ahead of us, as though they were a cleft in the hills. The excitement of the passengers grew greater. The crazy coach rocked on its great leather springs and swayed like a boat tossed on a stormy sea. I had to hold on the great. I had to hold on. The road grew more level, and we approached to fly along. Then the mountains seemed to come near to us on each side of the frown. On each side to frown down upon us. We entered the Borgo Pass one by one. Several of the passengers offered me gifts, which they pressed upon me with an earnestness which will take no denial. These were certainly of an odd and very varied kind, but each was given in simple good faith. with a kindly word and blessing. And I don't know why my brain is kind of which they press upon me with earnestness which will take no denial. This work certainly of odd and varied kind, but each was given in a simple good faith, with a kindly word and a blessing, and that strange mixture of fear meaning movements with which I had seen outside of the hotel at Breeze Streets. The sign of the cross and the guard against the evil light. Then, as we flew along, the driver leaned forward on each of the passengers, craning over the edge of the coach, peering eagerly into the darkness. It was evident that something very exciting was either happening or expected. But so I asked each passenger, no one will give me the slightest explanation. This state of excitement kept on for some little time, and at last we saw before us, past opening out on the eastern side, there were dark rolling clouds overhead, and in the air the heavy oppressed sense of thunder. It seemed as though the mountain range had separated the two atmospheres, and that now we had got into the thunderous one. I was now myself looking out of the conveyance which was to take me to the count. Each moment I expected to see the glare of lamps through the blackness, but all was dark. The only light was the flickering rays of our own lamps, in which the steam from our hard-driven horses rose in white cloud. We could see now the sandy road laying wide before us, but there was on it no sign of a vehicle. The passengers drew back with a sigh of gladness, which seemed to mock my own disappointment. I was already thinking what I had best to do, when the driver, looking at his watch, said to the others something which I could hardly hear. It was spoken so quietly and in so low tone, I thought it was an hour less than time. Then turning to me, he said in German, worse than my own, "There is no carriage here. The heir is not expected after all. He will now come on to Bukovina and return tomorrow or the next day. Better than next day." Whilst he was speaking, the horse began to neigh and snort and plunge wildly, so that the driver had to hold him up. Then, amongst the chorus of screams from the peasants and an universal crossing of themselves, a calèche with 4 horses drove up behind us, overtook us, and drew up beside the coach. I could see from the flash of our lamps, as the ray fell on them, that the horses were coal black and splendid animals. They were driven by a tall man with a long brown beard and great black hat, which seemed to hide his face from us. I could only see the gleam of a pair of very bright eyes, which seemed red in the lamplight. As he turned to us, he said to the driver, "You are early tonight, my friend." The man tampered in reply. The English hair was in a hurry. To which the stranger replied, "That is why I suppose you wish him to go to Bukovina. You cannot deceive me, my friend. I know too much and horses are swift." As he spoke, he smiled and the lamplight fell on a hard-looking mouth with very red lips and sharp-looking teeth as white as ivory. One of my companions whispered to another the line of "I'm from Burger's Lenor." Then indeed to Totten raten schnell, for the dead travel fast. The strange driver evidently heard the words, for he looked up with gleaming smile. The passenger turned his face away, at the same time putting out his two fingers and crossing himself. With me the air luggage," said the driver, "and with exceeding electricity my bags were handed and put on the carriage. Then I descended from the side of the coach as the carriage was close alongside the driver helping me with the hand which caught my arm in a grip of steel. This train must have been prodigious. Without a word, he shook his reins. The horses turned and he swept into the darkness of the pass. As I looked back, I saw the steam from the horses of the coach by the light of the lamp, and projected against the figures of my late companions crossing themselves. Then the driver cracked his whip and got off all to his horses, and off they swept on their way to Burkovia. As they sank into the darkness, I felt a strange chill, and a lonely feeling came over me. But a cloak was thrown over my shoulders, and a rock across my knees, and the driver said in excellent German, the night is chill, Mynheer, and my master, the Count, bade me to take all care of you. There's a flask of Slivovitz, the plum brandy of the country, underneath the seat. If you should require it, I did not take any, but it was a comfort to know it was there all the same. I felt a little strangely and not a little frightened. I think had there been any alternative, I should have taken it instead of prosecuting that unknown night journey. The carriage went at hard pace straight along, then made a complete turn and went along another straight road. It seemed to me that we were simply going over and over the same ground again, and so I took note of some salient point and found that this was so. I would have liked to have asked the driver what this all meant, but I really feared to do so, for I thought that, placed as I was, any protest would have had no effect in case there had been an intention to delay. by and by wherever. As I was curious to know how the time was passing, I struck a match and by its flame looked at my watch. It was within a few minutes of midnight. This gave me a sort of shock, for I suppose that general superstition about midnight was increased by my recent experiences. I waited with a sick feeling of suspense. Then a dog began to howl somewhere in a farmhouse far down the road. A long agonizing wailing, as if from fear. The sound was taken up by another dog, and then another, until Burn on the Wild, which now glided softly through the pass. A wild howling began, which seemed to come from all over the country, as far as the imagination could grasp through the gloom of the night. At the first howl, the horses began to strain and rear, but the driver spoke to them soothingly, and they quieted down. But shivered and sweated as though after a run away from the sudden fright. Then far off the distance from the mountains on each side of us began a louder and sharper howling. That of wolves, which affected both the horses and myself in the same way. For I was minded to jump from the caliche. There we go. For I was minded to jump from the caliche and run, whilst they reared again and plunged madly, so that the driver had to use all his great strength to keep them from bolting. In a few minutes, however, my own ears got accustomed to the sound, and then the horses so far became quiet and the driver was able to descend and stand before them. He petted and soothed them and whispered something in their ears, as I have heard of horse tamers doing, and with an extraordinary effect, for under his caress they became quite unmanageable again. So they still trembled. The driver again took his seat and, shaking in his reins, started off a great pace. This time, after going to the far side of the pass, he suddenly turned down a narrow roadway which ran sharply on the right. Soon we were hemmed with trees which in places arced right over the roadway, until we passed through a tunnel, and again a great frowning rock guarded us boldly on either side. But we were in shelter. We could hear the rising wind, for it moaned and whistled through the rock, and the branches of the trees crashed together as we swept along. It grew colder and colder still, and sorry. Sorry. Where were we? And fine powdery snow began to fall. so that soon we and all around us were covered in in a white blanket. Then the keen wind still carried the howling of the dogs, so this grew fainter as we went on our way. The baying of the wolves sounded nearer and nearer, as though they were closing in round on us from every side. I grew dreadfully afraid, and the horses shared my fear. The driver, however, was not in the least disturbed. He kept turning his head to left and right, but I could not see anything through the darkness. Suddenly, away on our left, I saw a faint flicker of flickering blue flame. The driver saw it at the same moment. He at once checked the horses and jumping through the ground. Jumping to the ground, disappearing into the darkness. I did not know what to do. The less as the howling of the wolves grew closer. But while I wondered, the driver suddenly appeared again, and without word took his seat, and we resumed our journey. I think I must have fallen asleep and kept dreaming of the incident, for it seemed to be repeated endlessly. And now, looking back, it is like a sort of awful nightmare. Once the flame appeared so near the road that even in the darkness around us, I could watch the driver motionless as he went rapidly to where the blue flames arose. It must have been very faint, for it did not seem to illuminate the place around it at all. And gathering a few stones from them into some device. Once they appear a strange optical effect when he stood between me and the flame. He did not obstruct, for I could see its ghostly flicker all the same. This startled me, but as the effect it was only momentary, I took it that my eyes deceived me, streaming through the darkness. Then for a time there were no blue flames, and we sped onwards to where through the gloom, with the howling of the wolves around us. So they were following in moving in cycle. Wait, what happened? Oh, it's fine. I'll start in 7 minutes. Okay, we can continue with the moving circle. At last there came a time when the driver went further afield than he had yet gone, and during his absence the horses began to tremble worse than ever and to snort and scream with fright. I could not see any cause for it, for the howling of the wolves had ceased altogether. But just then the moon sailing through the black clouds appeared behind the jagged crest of a beetling pine-clad rock. And by its light I saw around us a ring of wolves with white teeth and lolling red tongues, with long sinewy limbs and shaggy hair. They were 100 times more terrible in the grim silence of which held them, and even then they howled. For myself, I felt a sort of paralysis of fear. It is only when a man feels himself face to face with such horrors that he can understand their true importance. All at once, the wolves began to howl, though the moonlight had some peculiar effect on them. The horses jumped about and reared and looked helplessly around the ice that rolled in a way painful to see. But the living rings of terror encompassed them on every side, and they had perforce to remain within it. I called the coachman to come, for it seemed to me that our only chance was to try to break out through the ring and to aid his approach. I shouted and beat the side of the carriage, hoping by the noise to scare the wolves from that side, so as to give him a chance of reaching the trap. How he came here, I know not, but I heard his voice raised in a tone of imperious command. Looking toward the zones, I saw him in the roadway as he swept his long arms, as though brushing aside some impalpable obstacle. The wolves fell back and back further still. Just then, a heavy cloud passed across the face of the moon, so that we were again in darkness. When I could see again, the driver was climbing into the carriage, and the wolves had disappeared. This was all so strange and uncanny that a dreadful fear came upon me, and I was afraid to speak or move. The time seemed interminable as we swept on our way, now in almost complete darkness, for the rolling clouds obscured the moon. We kept on ascending, with occasional periods of quick descent, but in the main always ascending. Suddenly I became conscious of the fact that the driver was in the act of pulling up the horses in the courtyard of a vast ruined castle, from whose tall black windows came no ray of light, and whose broken battlements show a jagged line against the moonlit sky. Okay. 3 minutes to add. Okay, that is fine. Chapter 2. Jonathan Harker's journal continued. 5 May. I must have been asleep, for certainly if I had been fully awake I must have noticed the approach of such a remarkable place. In the gloom of the courtyard, look of considerable size, and several dark ways led it under from great round arches. It perhaps seemed bigger than it really is. I have not yet been able to see it by daylight. When the carriage stopped, the driver jumped down and held his hand to assist me to align again. To alight. I'm sorry. To assist me to alight. Again I could not but notice his prodigious strength. His hand actually seemed like a steel vice that could have
YouTube
crushed
Premium es YouTube sin
mine
anuncios
if he had
y
chosen.
descargas que puedes ver en cualquier momento y
Bien.
lugar. Prueba un mes gratis.
Okay, chosen. Then he took out my traps and placed them on the ground beside me as I stood close to a great door, old and studded with a large iron nails. I said projecting doorway of massive stone. I could have seen in the dim light that the stone was massively carved, but the carving had been much worn by time and weather. As I stood, the driver jumped again into his seat and shook his rein. The horses started forward and trapped all and all disappeared down one of the dark openings. Oh, the ads are starting. So we'll take a small break while the ads start. While the ads run. Give me 1 second. But yeah, so far it's going well. I think. I hope you're enjoying it. It is a very interesting book. I love the Dracula story. I do remember watching the Gary Oldman movie. The one starting Gary Oldman as Dracula and what is his name? John Wick. Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker. I think it has a very English way of describing the surroundings and the food. Like I love how he takes his time to describe what food Jonathan Harker was eating in each town and everything. I think it sets up the mood very well. Am I getting notifications? Keep getting notifications of people I don't know on Instagram. I'm waiting for the ads to end so we can continue. Once the ads end, we can just continue with the story. Oh, there we go. No, wait. I really don't know when they start. Like, it said they were starting, like the countdown finished. Then it takes a whole while and suddenly I see adding progress, 1 minute. And like on my screen it says 51 seconds and on my laptop says 1 minute 5 seconds. So which one is it? Like it doesn't actually accurately tells when the ads start and how long they actually last. One will think that Twitch could actually do that, but no, they cannot. I don't know. It some kind of reminds me of Metroid. Oh, I forgot it's horror and sci-fi music. It kind of reminds me of Metroid. Okay, let's go. Attend it. Okay, where was I? I stood in silence where I was, for I did not know what to do. Of bell or knockers there was no sign. Thought through these frowning walls in the dark windows opening, it was not likely that my voice could penetrate. The time I waited seemed endless, and I felt doubts and fears crowding upon me. What sort of place had I come to? And among what kind of people? What sort of grim adventure was it on which I had embarked? Was this a customary incident in my life of solicitor clerk sent out to explain the purchase of a London estate to a foreigner? Solicitor clerk, Mina would not like that. Solicitor for just before her leaving London, I got word that my examination was successful and I am now a full-blown solicitor. I began to rub my eyes and pinch myself to see if I were awake. It all seemed like a horrible nightmare to me, and I expected that I should soon lie awake and find myself at home with the town struggling through the window, as I have now and again felt the morning after their day overwork. I'm sorry, I'll reread that. As I had now and again felt the morning and after a day of overwork. But my flesh answered the pinching test, and my eyes were not to be deceived. I was indeed awake, and amongst the Carpathians. All I could do now was to be patient and wait the coming morning. Wait. Sorry, I got distracted with something. The coming of the morning. Just as I had come to the conclusion, I heard the heavy steps approaching behind the great door, and saw through the cheeks of the gleam of a coming light. Then there was the sound of rattling chains and the clanking of massive bolts drawn back. The key was turned with a loud grating noise of long disuse, and then and the great doors swung back. Within stood a tall old man, clean-shaven save for the long white mustache, and clad in black from the head to foot, without a single speck of gore about him anywhere. He held in his hand an antique silver lamp, in which the flame burned without a chimney or globe of any kind, throwing long quivering shadow as it flickered in the draught of the open door. The old man motioned me in with his right hand with a courtly gesture, saying in excellent English but with a strange intonation, "Welcome to my house. Enter freely and of your own will." He made no motion of stepping to meet me, but stood like a statue, as though his gesture of welcome had fixed him in stone. The instant, however, that I had stepped over the threshold, he moved impulsively forward, and holding out his hand, grasped mine with a strength which made me wince, and the effect which was not lessened by the fact that it seemed as cold as ice, more like a hand of a dead than a living man. Again he said, sorry. "Welcome to my house. Come freely, go safely, and leave something of the happiness you bring." The strength of the handshake was so much akin to that which I had noticed in the driver, whose face I had not seen, that for a moment I doubt if it were not the same person to whom I was speaking. So, to make sure, I said interrogatively, Con Dracula?" He bowed in courtly way as he replied, "I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome, Mr. Harker, to my house. Come in, the night air is chill, and you must need to eat and rest." As he was speaking, he put the lamp on a bracket on the wall and stepped out, took my Stepping out, took my luggage. He had carried it before, or I could forestall him. I protested, but he insisted. Sorry. Nay, sir. Nay, sir, you are my guest. It is late, and my people are not available. Let me see to your comfort myself. He insisted on carrying my traps along the passage, and then up the great winding stair, and along another great passage, on whose stone floor our steps ranged heavily. At the end of this, he threw open a heavy door, and I rejoiced to see within a well-lit room, in which a table was spread for supper, and whose mighty heart a great fire of log, freshly replenished, flame and flared. The Count halted, putting down my bags, closed the door, crossing the room, opened another door, which led into a small octagonal room lit by a single lamp, and seemingly without a window of any sort passing through this. He opened another door and motioned me to enter. It was a welcome sight, for there was a great bedroom, well lit and armed with another log of fire. I also added both lately, for the top logs were fresh, which sent a hollow roar up the white chimney. The Count himself left my luggage inside and withdrew, saying, before he closed the door, "You will need, after your journey, to refresh yourself by making your toilet. I trust you will find all you wish. When you are ready to come into another room, where you will find your supper prepared." Oh, sorry. Sorry. There we go. Where was I?
Escucha podcasts sorprendentemente interesantes en la app de
come on.
YouTube Music.
Not interested in that. Prepared. The light and warm and the Count's courteous welcome seemed to have dissipated all my doubts and fears. Having then reached my normal state, I discovered that I was half famished with hunger. So, making a hasty toilet, I went into the other room. I found supper already laid out. My host, who stood on one side of the great fireplace, leaning against the stonework, made a graceful wave of his hand onto the table and said, I pray you be seated and sup how you please. You will, I trust, excuse me that I do not join you, but I have dined already, and I do not sup. I handed to him the sealed letter which Miss Hawkins had entrusted to me. He opened it and read it gravely. Then, with a charming smile, he handed it to me to read. One passage of it at least gave me a thrill of pleasure. I most regret that an attack of gout from which my lady I am constant suffering, forbids absolutely any traveling on any part of me for some time to come. But I'm happy to say that I can send sufficient efficient substitute, one in whom I have every possible confidence. He's a young man full of energy and talent in his own way, and of a very faithful disposition. He is discreet and silent, and has grown into manhood in my service. He shall be ready to attend on you when you will during his stay, and shall take your instructions in all matters. The Count himself came forward and took off the cover of a dish, and I fell at once on an excellent roasted chicken. This with some cheese and a salad and a bottle of old Tokay, of which I had 2 glasses. Was my supper. During the time I was eating it, the Count asked me many questions as to my journey, and I told him by degrees all I had experienced. By this time I had finished my supper, and by my host's desire had drawn up a chair by the fire and began to smoke a cigar, which he offered me, at the same time excusing himself that he did not smoke. I had now an opportunity of observing him, and found him doing of a very marked physiognomy. His face was strong, very strong, aquiline, with a high bridge of a thin nose and peculiarly arched nostrils, with a lofty dome forehead, and hair growing scantily round the temples, but profusely elsewhere. His eyebrows were very massive, almost meeting over the nose, and with bushy hair that seemed curled into its own profusion. The mouth, so far as I could see it under the heavy mustache, was big and rather cruel-looking, with peculiarly sharp white teeth. These protruded over the lips, whose remarkable rudeness show astonishing vitality in a man of his years. For the rest of his ears were pale, and the tops of extremely pointed. The chin was broad and strong, and the cheeks firm through thin. I don't know what that. Okay. The general effect was one of extremely pallor. I had noticed the back of his hands as they lay on his knees in firelight, and they had seemed rather white and fine. But seeing them now close to me, I could not but notice that they were rather coarse, broad, with squat fingers. Strange to say, they were hairs in center of the palm. The nails were long and fine, and cut to a sharp point. As the Count leaned over me and his hands touched me, I could not repress a shudder. It may have been that his breath was rank, but a horrible feeling of nausea came over me, which, do what I would, I could not conceal. The Count, evidently noticing it, drew back with a grim sort of smile, which showed more than he had yet done in his protuberant teeth. Sat himself down again on his own side of the fireplace. We were both silent for a while, and as I looked towards the window, I saw the first dim streak of the coming dawn. There seemed in a strange stillness over the air, everything, but I listened. I heard the air as if from down below the valley, howling many wolves. The Count's eyes gleamed, and he said, "Listen to them, the children of the night, what music they make." Seeing I suppose some expression in my face strange to him, he added, sir, you dwellers in the city cannot enter into a feeling of the hunter then." He rose and said, "But you must be tired. Your bedroom is all ready, and tomorrow shall I'll sleep as late as you will. I had to be away until the afternoon, so sleep well and dream well." With a courteous bow, he opened for me himself the door and to the octagonal room, and I entered my bedroom. I'm all in a sea of wonders. I doubt, I fear, I think strange things which I dare not confess to my own soul. God keep me, if only for the sake of those dear to me. 7 May. It is again early morning, but I have rested and enjoyed the last 24 hours. I slept until late that day and woke of my own accord. When I dressed myself, I went into the room where we had supped and found a cold breakfast laid out, with coffee kept hot by the pot being placed on the hearth. Where there was a card on the table on which was written, "I have to be absent for a while. Do not wait for me." Oh no, my cell phone ran out of battery. My cell phone died. Wait, is it 3 hours already? I don't know, because the stream ended. The stream crashed once. Give me a sec. I'm gonna check that. How do I check that? How long is the first part? How do I? Can I see? I did start at 12. Yeah, it's been 3 hours. Okay, so I will finish this chapter, and then we can find somebody to raid. So let's finish this one chapter, and we see where we can go from there. 7 May. It is again. Oh wait, let me put. Can I use the camera? Yeah, so movement. Okay. Okay, it's a good thing I have a backup. Okay. 10 May. It is again early morning, but I have rested and enjoyed the last 24 hours. I slept until the day.
YouTube Premium es YouTube.
Come on, YouTube.
YouTube
I don't care.
Premium, una app.
Slept until late in the day and woke up my own accord. I had dressed myself. Yeah, okay. It was written here. I have to be absent for a while. Do not wait for me. D. I sat to and enjoyed a hearty meal. When I had done, I looked for a bell so that I might have the servants know I had finished, but I could not find one. There are certainly odd defiances in the house, considering the extraordinary evidence of wealth which are around me. The table service is of gold and so beautiful that it must be of immense value. The curtains and upholstery of the chairs and sofas and the hanging of my beds are of the costliest and most beautiful fabrics, and must have been of fabulous value when they were made, for they are centuries old, so in excellent order. I saw something like them in Hampton Court, but they were worn and frayed and most mud-eaten. But still, in none of the rooms is there a mirror. There is not even a toilet glass on my table, and I had to get the little shaving glass from my bag before I could either shave or brush my hair. I have not yet seen a servant anywhere, or heard the sound near the castle, except the howling of the wolves. Sometime after I had finished my meal, I do not know whether to call it breakfast or dinner, for it was between 5 and 6 o'clock when I had it. I looked about something to read, for I did not like to go about the castle until I had asked the count permission. There was absolutely nothing in the room, book, newspaper, or even written material, so I opened another door in the room and found a sort of library. The door opposite to me, I tried but found it locked. In the library I found, to my great delight, a vast number of English books, whole shelves full of them, and bound volumes of magazines, newspapers, and a table in the center was littered with English magazines and newspapers, but none of them were of very recent date. The books were of the most varied kind and history, geography, politics, political economy, botany, geology, law, all relating to England and English life and customs and manners. There were even such books of reference as the London Directory, the Red and Blue books with Stoker Almanac, and the Army and Navy list. And it somehow gladdened my heart to see the law list. While I was looking at the books, the door opened and the Count entered. He saluted me in a hearty way and hoped that I had good night rest. Then he went on. I'm glad you found your way in here, for I'm sure there is much that will interest you. These companions, and he laid his hand on some of the books, have been good friends to me, and for some years past, ever since I had the idea of going to London, had given me many hours of pleasure. Through them I have come to know your great England, and to know her is to love her. I long to go through the crowded streets of mighty London, to be in the midst of the whirl and rush of humanity, to share its life, its charge, its death, and all the makes what it is. But alas, as yet I only know your tongue through books. To you, oh my friend, I look that I know of it to speak. But Count, I said, you know and speak English surely. He bowed gravely. I thank you, my friend, for you all too flattering estimate. But yet I fear that I'm but a little way on the road I will travel. True, I know the grammar and the words, but yet I know not how to speak them. Indeed, I said, you speak excellently. Not so, he answered. Well, I know that I did move and speak in your London. There are. Well, I know that did I move and speak in your London. None there are who will not know me for a stranger. That is not enough for me. Here I am a noble. I'm a boyar. The common people know me, and I am a master. But a stranger in a strange land is no one. Men know him not, and to know not is to care not for. I am content if I am like the rest, so that no man stops if he sees me, or pauses in his speaking if he heard my words. Aha, a stranger. I have been so long master that I will be master still, or at least that none other will be master of me. You come to me not alone as an agent of my friend Peter Hawkins of Exeter to tell me that all about my new estate in London. You shall trust I rest. You shall I trust rest here with me a while, so that by your talking I may learn the English intonation, and I will that you tell me when I make error. Oh, there's an app. I'll wait for the ad to end. But I think I will just finish this part, and then we'll finish there because I am kind of hungry now. Let me. Tell me about. Yeah, I just want to mark. Yeah, because there's still so much for the chapter to end. So we'll finish this part and then we'll finish the stream. Let the app just play. Okay. My stay in London. You shall I trust rest here while with me a while that by your talking I may learn English intonation. Oh wait, I read this part. Long day. The first time. Of course I said all I could about being willing and asked if I come into to that room when I chose. He answered yes, certainly. He nodded. You may go anywhere you wish in the castle except where the doors are locked. Where of course you will not wish to go. There is a reason that all things are as they are, and did not see with my eyes and know with my knowledge. You will perhaps better understand. I said I was sure of this, and then he went on. We are in Transylvania. And Transylvania is not England. Our ways are not your ways, and there shall be in not you many strange things. There shall be to you many strange things. And nay, for what you have told me of your experiences already, you know something of what the things may be. Okay, I think that's a good a good way to end it. So we'll
Pagar
leave it there.
299 al mes por una aplicación de streaming y
Shut up!
179 por una aplicación de música y...
Barats. We'll end it there and let's find somebody to raid. Let me just also the white screen is kind of making my eyes hurt. But so I'm gonna get some food. But first we'll find somebody to raid and we'll see what we say. And if you wanna talk about books or anything in the Discord, I forgot to make the book recommendation channel in the Discord. Let me do it right now before I forget again. Book recommendation. There's now a book recommendation channel if you want to recommend a book or something to read. I will verify that I can get like permission or something to read the book. If I cannot get the permission to read any book you recommend, I will let you know if I can read it on stream, but we'll see. I do hope you enjoyed it. I do enjoy the Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula a lot. It's a story I have read over a long time ago. I think I read it in Spanish before. I did read a Spanish translation, but it's interesting to read the English version. And you know, seeing like the different adaptations of the story, it's always is fun. I have seen several of the Dracula movies, so it's a fun story. Like I know it's supposed to be a scary story, but I enjoy vampire stories. Anyways, let me just find somebody to raid. Let's see who's live right now. Who can we raid? Is there any of my friends live? Who can we raid? I will be uploading the VODs of this to YouTube. So if you wanna go through the VOD, it's gonna be on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Let's see who's live. Is that who? Oh, that's somebody I haven't seen enough. I think I found somebody to raid. It's still going, right? He's been on for 5 hours, but I think it should be fine. He seems to be still going. Okay, let me where here. No, that is not the raid command. Anyways, thank you again for coming. I hope you had a lot of fun. It is one of my favorite books, so I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be continuing probably on Sunday. Next Sunday. I will be posting my schedule on both Discord and on Twitter to let you know when I'll be streaming. Anyways, goodbye everybody. I hope you have a good evening. I'll see you later. I'll just click right now.